I was working at a middle school as a night shift custodian. I cleaned a long U-shaped wing full of classrooms every weeknight. I'd already locked up one set of doors to the wing and was about to lock the other ones at the other end of the U. I made the full lap around the wing, and I'd been cleaning there all night alone. I came to the end of the hallway where the doors to the rest of the school were. When I shut the lights off, the dark silhouette of what looked like a child ran from across the end of the hallway from left to right. There were doors down there, but I'd just locked them all up and no one else was around. I was so creeped out I locked the doors connecting the wing to the rest of the school and ran to my car. I always felt like I was seeing things out of the corner of my eye working there at night, but that was the most visible. That was the most for sure thing I saw at that place. I was unloading a truck at this grocery store I worked at. The warehouse was 2 stories, haunted. It was around 3 a.m. and I was completely alone, and I hear, clear as day, a scream. It sounded like a woman in labor. I call my boss and she goes and tells me to go up and check, and I said, fuck that. We both go up to check it out together. All the rooms were empty. Just a few empty boxes. When we got back downstairs, we both heard a loud thump. Like something fell down and hit the floor hard. We got out of there fast. Other employees have also claimed to have seen or heard things there. In the summer, I would sit outside on a well-lit and busy side street, and on this side at the opposite end was a federal building with nothing between us but solid building. So this one night I'm relaxing and I look towards the federal building and see a person completely in shadow walking my way. Even when walking under the streetlight, I just couldn't see the features of this person. I quickly went in and waited from a somewhat hidden position to see who passed. No one passed at all in the next 10 minutes. I've never felt such malevolence from a person who was just walking. It still bothers me 15 years later. I work in a prison. When I was new, I was working overtime one night in a housing unit that has seen a lot of death. It was well after midnight and all of the offenders were supposed to be in their cells. Since this was a medium security prison, the offenders still had some access to leave their cell to use the communal bathroom at night. Well, I was going in for the 2 a.m. count, but I watched an offender walk down the stairs from the second level and into the bathroom. I stood at the entrance to the bathroom and yelled in to ask what cell they were in so I could add an extra body to that cell for my count, but got no answer. I then walked into the bathroom and searched everywhere, but I found absolutely nobody. I told one of my coworkers about what happened, and the first thing he asked me was he tall and skinny with long dreads? He had been. When I answered yes, I was told, "Oh, that's Mr. Bones. He killed himself a few years ago, but he still hangs around." I still get goosebumps thinking about it. Back when I was a home care assistant, I was doing my hourly breathing rounds, just poking my head into the doorways, sometimes turning on the nightlight, to make sure. And about halfway down the hall, I see a resident sitting up at the edge of her bed facing the doorway. I ask if she's all right and if she needs anything from me. She was looking down, and as she looks up, her head kind of twists from one side to the other and looks up, but she maintains eye contact with me. In a hoarse voice, she replies, "Helen isn't here anymore." I ran to the nursing station and reported this to the nurse. The nurse looks at me and kind of chuckles, saying it's impossible as the resident is a total assist. She's not even mobile, and not verbal at all. We make our way down there anyways. Not even 2 minutes go by and the resident is tucked nicely in her bed, snoring away as though nothing ever happened. I worked night shift on an ambulance, and it's always weird. But the one that spooked me was Thanksgiving of 2016. We got called out for a suicide. Guy found out he had cancer the day before, and he didn't want to be a burden on his family. It's not uncommon. We run the call, and we do what we do and head back to the station. As I'm pulling into the spot, the electronics in the cab start going apeshit. Radio is changing stations, dash lights dimming off and on, cab lights flickering. Me and my partner freaked out, and as we bailed out at a breakneck speed, the truck shut off. It took a second, and we looked blankly at each other and then lit a cigarette. We went to check the key, and it was still on. We shut it off and cranked it back up, but never had any problems the rest of our shift. I've seen weird shit, and I will never claim to have seen it all, but I firmly believe we brought something with us from that scene.